Okay, welcome to today's video. I'm going to go over how to build a 3D chest with the perfect chest workout and the perfect chest tips and tricks, training tips and tricks that you guys need to know. Now, sorry I couldn't film a gym vlog today. I did hit chest with biceps today, but just got caught up with class. Had to go real quick after class because I had to make another class after, so I couldn't really get around to filming in the gym. So instead, I'm literally going to tell you guys the step-by-step blueprint on how I grew my chest from basically nothing to, I'll say, around maybe double C's. I don't know how they measure them, but yeah. So without further ado, let me go right into it. So here's my starting point for those of you who don't know. Obviously not the best genetics, but more than that, my chest, and you'll see now when I show you my 1 year transformation, is a very stubborn muscle group for me. And basically I don't have good chest genetics at all, right? It's a very stubborn muscle. It won't grow. It didn't grow well, and yeah. So when I tell you that what I'm about to tell you works, it does. So this is my 1 year transformation into lifting. So as you can tell, pretty solid development, right? Look at the delts pop in, the arms, the abs, a bit of chest, but really the chest is still quite flat. Like, it isn't 3D, it's not popping, it's not like full. And so I would say, just judging by this 1 year transformation, what would you guys think? I would say everything has grown substantially, but the chest in particular has grown, I'd say, the least amount, right? Arms and the delts probably the most, and the abs. But the chest is still kind of like not really that developed. Like, there's a bit of cuts, but it's not really like sticking out, you know what I mean? So obviously, what I was doing came down to poor training. And so all it took was me shifting and changing a little bit of my training philosophy to what I'll explain in a moment, but a slightly lower volume, high intensity approach, and a bunch of other tips, training tips and tricks, which I started doing. And the result was this: a much fuller 3D chest, much bigger upper chest in particular, but also lower chest. So obviously, starting from my starting point and getting to this is pretty impressive, considering my genetics and considering my chest genetics as well, and considering that this is my 1 year into lifting and this is my 3 years into lifting. So for me to see that much progress during my intermediate stage just shows how, because I changed my training in what I'm about to show you, in the ways I'm about to show you, how much of an effect that can have on potential muscle growth. You may think you've plateaued, you may think you've hit some sort of genetic ceiling, but really, I promise you, if you just switch up your training a little bit, the results you see will be insane. So yes, here is what I did for this to happen. Boom. Number one, incline versus flat pressing. Now, this is a topic that's spoken about a lot, and it's kind of like it's kind of rhetorical, right? Everyone goes, "Oh no, you have to focus on incline, only incline," and they are right, but you can still develop a great chest with flat pressing. And I definitely did my fair share of flat pressing, barbell bench press, dumbbell bench press in my first year of training. But as you can see, that's what it got me to. So it didn't give me that 3D popping look that I got after I incorporated and prioritized incline pressing. So take that as you will. Yes, you'll get some growth. Look at this, some growth, but this is what you'll get from incline pressing. So there's definitely more efficient ways to build your chest. And what I mean by this is, yes, focusing on the mid-lower chest or lower chest. Let me just move this real quick. Bro, why can't I move this? Okay. Yes, focusing on mid-lower chest is efficient for chest development. Yes, you will see progress, as I showed you, right? You will see progress by doing flat pressing, but nothing compared to what you'll see if you do incline pressing. So do not neglect the upper chest is my first tip. And I would go so far as to say only do incline pressing if you want to get the fastest, best results with your chest. Number one. Now, where do I put this? I put it up here. In terms of my little training cues and tips and tricks, these are three main ones that I would say are important for you guys to take into account when training your chest. So first of all is hand placement. You want to get comfortable, you want to have a comfortable grip, okay? Some people they prefer an overhand grip. Some people, they prefer a suicide grip where they don't use their thumbs. Some people just prefer a normal grip. You need to figure out which one is comfortable for you, and not, what's more, you need to figure out what grip you feel the best squeeze, right? Are you maybe taller? You maybe need a wider grip to feel a better contraction, or are you, shorter arms? You may need a shorter grip. Sorry, a more narrow grip. You need to experiment with what grip is, I say optimal for. I say should be adjusted to suit your body structure. What I mean by this is, what do you feel the best? With what grip do you feel the best contraction? If you are going wide and you're like, what the this is just shoulders and triceps, I feel nothing in my chest. And then you come in a little bit and you're like, oh my God, I can feel the squeeze. Then that's the optimal grip, the stance, the optimal grip for you, right? And then experiment with, okay, should I wrap my thumbs around like this? Should I wrap like this? Where do I feel the chest contraction better? So that's one of my main pieces of advice when training your chest to optimize for results. That's something I did. For example, I realized that, okay, I've kind of have a mid to wide grip for chest, which is the best for me. And I like a suicide grip. So I don't like wrapping my thumbs around the bar. I like doing this. This isolates the chest better for me. Obviously, if I'm doing dumbbells, I'll hold them properly. But if I'm doing Smith or barbell, I'll do it like this. So it's literally just like, or even like, you know what I mean? Like literally like just like this, the bar's coming down. You're not even, just minimal wrapping of fingers around the bar, I found helps me contract my chest about the best. So you need to experiment with that in the gym. The next point is the top portion of incline press machine, not dumbbell, okay? Not dumbbell. Primarily works the triceps. So if you are working a incline barbell press or an incline machine press or even an incline Smith press, although I would say you should squeeze on the Smith press, but the most important part is not, when you fully lock out, yes, you can get a good squeeze. Definitely with dumbbells, you should try get that squeeze at the top. But, if, especially for incline barbell press, if you're like trying to squeeze at the top and locking out fully, it's quite hard to get that chest contraction. You're just going to feel it in your elbows and in your triceps. So, what's important is a full range of motion, of course, but, for some of the movements, you shouldn't waste energy on trying to lock out and squeeze, especially for incline barbell press or incline machine press. So once you reach the top, that's fine, reach the top, but don't squeeze the top there. Just immediately go back down again. So you're like this. Pause at the bottom. But whereas if you're using dumbbells, then yes, it makes sense to squeeze at the top because you can, it's the line of push is mechanically more optimized for a squeeze. Whereas a barbell is just straight, right? You have no choice but to follow the path of the bar. Whereas with dumbbells, you can converge because you're not constrained by a bar, if that makes sense. So on to my next point is, what's important is not so much the locking out when training your chest pressing, but the bottom part of the movement. You want to feel your pecs being ripped apart at the bottom. Literally, like super stretch, and you want to hold that stretch for 2 seconds, okay? So you want to use the machines or the movements that allow you to fully lengthen your chest muscles. This is the number one factor which led to my chest growth, okay? Obviously, slow, controlled, eccentric, but really stretching the out of my pecs to the bottom. So whatever machine allows you to do that and feel that stretch, and you know what a stretch feels like, right? Just go like this and stretch your pec. That's the feeling you should get with your movements if you want to explode in chest growth, okay? So obviously, use whatever machine or exercise allows you to get a deep stretch, yeah? Okay, next point, other tips. So also what you need to figure out is the ideal incline press, the ideal angle for an incline press. Now this, for most people, is 15 to 30 degrees. And that's the one I'm going to recommend to you. Now, you may find that a 30-degree angle is a better upper chest contraction. You may find that it's too much shoulders and you want to lower it down a bit to feel the chest more. This obviously depends, again, on how comfortable you feel a 15-degree incline versus a 30-degree incline is, and how well you can squeeze your chest or how well you can feel your chest working. So 15 to 30 degrees, nothing less, nothing more, is what I would opt in for. Me personally, I just do 30 degrees because that's where I can isolate the upper chest the most, but everyone's different, so you figure that out. But both are pretty much the same in terms of what results you'll get. Next, using a machine with less stability demands can be more efficient for chest development. What do I mean by this? If you are struggling to grow your chest, if you're struggling to feel your chest working, maybe it's because you are relying too much on free weights so that you can focus less on your chest moving through a full range of motion, and you're focusing more on like I need to control this weight, like and you can't really connect your mind to the muscle as well as if you were to do like a Smith machine where it's just like it's easier for you to control the weight down because it's a machine. Whereas if it's like a barbell or dumbbell, you're like focusing too much on like stability and less on your chest stretching and squeezing. So if you find that's a problem for you, if you aren't getting good pumps, getting stronger with your dumbbells or barbells, then move to machines, move to Smith press, move to incline chest press, seated incline chest press. This may help. This will allow you to pay more attention and more focus, more intense and more energy on squeezing and, focusing on your chest moving through a full range of motion, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So that's another one of my big tips. Move away from free weights if you are struggling to feel your chest working, and move away from free weights if all you do when you do them is focus on like stabilizing. That's just not good. You want to be focusing on your chest working. Next tip, isolation work for chest is essential, okay? You have to have one chest fly variation. My personal favorite is the pec deck machine, okay? I like to do this before I do any of my other movements. So I start off with my pec deck so it acts as I like to do my isolation movements in general before my big pressing compound movements. So I'll do my pec deck chest fly before my chest pressing. I'll do my leg extensions before my squats. So all that stuff to pre-exhaust, to prime your muscle, to enhance your mind-muscle connection, and to recruit more muscle fibers. And basically, it will allow you to grow more if you do your isolation work first, based on my experience. And if we're talking about chest, yes, if you want to see the results I saw, again, let me take you back. This to this, then you want to be doing your isolation movement first. You want to be doing your pec deck first, and you want to be including isolation movements for that mind-muscle connection. It's so important, especially for you guys who are struggling to get a pump with your chest or feel your chest working whenever you train it, and you're not doing chest flies. That's probably why. And obviously, there's way more. There's other variations for isolation work for chest, like seated cable chest fly, standing cable chest fly, high to low, low to high. But if you want my advice, standard pec deck, make sure to get a big stretch at the bottom and squeeze at the top. Simple as that. And you can do cable, as I said, cable chest fly, dumbbell chest flies. But I would say, if you can, pec deck machine is my favorite. And that's what I'm telling you guys, what I saw results from. Literally everything I've written down here today is what I did to grow my chest. So lastly, you don't need excessive volume for chest growth, okay? 4 to 5 sets per workout till failure, obviously, is plenty. 10 sets to failure per week can suffice. I will probably do 10 to 12 sets of chest till failure per week, which is the results you'll see from doing this versus 20 sets, 25 sets till failure, like 5 sets on the bench press 2 times a week, which is what I used to do in this photo, and these are the results you'll expect to see, right? Whereas if you swap to low volume, high intensity chest workouts, this is what you'll get. So 10 sets per week is a beautiful spot. 10 sets to failure, bear in mind, per week. 4 to 5 sets to failure per exercise is what I did and what I saw the best results from. Both upper and mid chests are worked in each set. Remember that just because you're incline pressing doesn't mean that your lower chest isn't involved, and vice versa. So, I would say, me personally, I would probably just on the whole, at least 8 of those sets would be for incline pressing. Sorry, I'm not sorry. 6 sets would be for incline pressing, 2 sets would be for chest fly, and 2 sets would be for flat pressing. There you go. That's literally the blueprint on how I grew my chest over the span of 2 years. This is me talking from a guy with bad genetics in general, but bad chest genetics, stubborn chest genetics. So please trust me when I tell you this. Follow this advice. Take notes if you need to. And I can't wait for you guys to see your chest explode. Okay? I promise you it will. And if you want this to happen to you, if you want this transformation to happen to you, guaranteed within less time than if you were to do it by yourself, then come work with me in aesthetic school. And if you still want this to happen, maybe 80% chance of happening, then join Aesthetics Club for free training programs, free community, free support, free help, all that stuff. So thank you for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed this video and if it helped you. And I'll see you tomorrow because we're doing daily uploads. Peace.